Now, what this is saying here is forward connection. Creating a forward or local SSH tunnel can be done from our attacking box when we have SSH access to the target. As such, this technique is much more commonly used against Unix hosts, meaning Linux. Linux servers in particular commonly have SSH active and open. That said, Microsoft recently brought out their own implementation of the OpenSSH server native to Windows. So this technique may begin to get more popular in this regard if the feature were to gain more traction. There are two ways to create a forward SSH tunnel using SSH client, port forwarding, and creating a proxy. Alright, so two ways, using port forwarding and creating a proxy. Port forwarding is accomplished with the L switch, which creates a link to a local port. For example, if we had SSH access to 172.16.0.5 and there's a website or a web server running on 172.16.0.1, we could use this command to create a link to the server on 17.16.0.110. Alright, and they show you the syntax of how you would write it out. Meaning that, so what I'm getting from this is that the L switch here tells them that you're doing it on the local machine and you're opening a port here, right, on the target machine. You're opening a port locally on your machine and to connect to port 80 on this target machine. And then you have to put the number that you have, the IP address for the machine that you have SSH access to. But in order to do this, you have to have the SSH access. So what I did, I went and I got that SSH access by searching for the SSH keys, right? And if I go in my notes here, and this is why it's good for you to have notes, you can search for things. Alright, so let me type in SSH, and I remember here there is, you can type this in to search for SSH keys. And let me grab this one here. You can use the find command. Let me grab this and see if I can use it. Let's go back here. Alright, let's try to see if we can do it with this. Alright. And let's fire that off. And see if anything fruitful comes out of it. Fail to execute command. Alright. So that did not work. Alright, so let me see. So let's go back to Wreath because I already got the keys. Let me see if I did put anything down here. Did I? Yes, I did. So what I did here to find the keys was I created another shell and then I changed directory to root. So let me see if we can do it this way without creating, first creating another shell. Okay. So let's cd to root and then print working directory. Such file or directory. Okay. So in order to go to root, I think we ended up having to create another shell there. Service reference root. Okay. So what it says here, before we do it though, this is not a full shell. So what it's saying here is that you don't have full functionality from the shell here. So they need you to get a reverse shell from the target. You can either do this manually or by typing shell into the sudo shell. Let's do it their way. They want us to type shell into the sudo and then follow the instructions. So let's do this and see what happens. All right. And that's how it is, guys. Sometimes some things won't work, so you have to go and use whatever tools you have. So what we're gonna do is type the shell in, and it's saying please enter the IP address for the shell. That's our IP address, which is 10.50.86.35, and then the port number for the shell. Now I suspect that the port for the port number, you definitely would need to have netcat listening. So let's open a new tab here. I actually know this, guys, because I've done it before. So let's do netcat NVLP and 7777. Okay. So when you go back here, you're gonna put the port that you put in the tab, and then it says start a netcat with listener in a new window, which I've already done, and press enter. So let's press enter here to see if we get the shell. All right, and as you can see here, we did get the shell. So now we can see working directory here. Who am I? All right. So other things that you can do, as I said, for post enumeration, you can also do ARP-A to find out which other IP addresses in the network it has been communicating with. And as you can see here, you have a bunch of them here, and they are on the same network, right? So there is 285.147, 150, 100. So now we have more information here. And what you can do here is take a screenshot of all of these. Okay? So here we go. All right. So these are all the IP addresses that it has been communicated with. So there are a bunch of other things that you can do as well. You can also try to find, as I said, the SSH keys. Now let's go back for that code. Let me go back over here, and because for the reason for the life of me, I always forget this find command here. So it's a good thing to have notes, because as I said, you won't be able to remember everything. Obviously I don't remember everything, so this is what I have to do. So let me try this time to see, because this should be a full shell. Let's paste it here. Alright, so basically this is telling us that it's in the root.ssh id RSA. Okay, so all we need to do is to cd to this directory here. So I just need to copy this so I don't make any mistakes, and do cd and paste. Okay, now we're there, and what we need to do is do an ls to see what's there. And as you can see here, you have authorized keys, ID RSA, RD RSA pub, and known hosts. So this is interesting. So let me cat out known hosts. All right. And this is telling us 10.50.73.2. Interesting. All right. Now, these here are typically the keys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cat out all of them to see what's inside. Authorize keys. And paste here. Enter. As you can see here, this looks like a public key. And if I cat out this one, I suspect that this one is the private key or the secret key, same thing. All right, there you go. So with this information, guys, we can use this to SSH into the machine. Now I already have this saved, and there is definitely a way to do so. So what you do is to SSH into that machine. Make this bigger again. You would have a file, and let's go in here. Where do I have it? I think I have it somewhere in this directory. Okay, so these here are the same, the private key to SSH into. So let's do that. So first we do SSH I, and then you put the name of the key here, copy, and I'll paste this here. And now you're gonna put root, which is the user that you have access to, and the IP address 10.200.85.200. And just like that, we have SSH access to the server. Now, this is just an idea of the damage that someone can cause when you don't patch your network appropriately. And I'm going to catch up with you guys, but this is what I've been working on, and it's been a fun journey. It's not always me getting the machine or getting things right, but the whole process to me is something that's enjoyable. And if this is not the case for you, then maybe there's another specialty in cybersecurity that's good for you. But for me, I really like this, and there are other things that I like as well. But I really enjoy the trial and error part of this, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So just stay tuned, and I'll be bringing more content to you. I'll try my best as possible, and I thank you again. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my videos. See you in the next one.